Welcome back to the channel. Shop update number 7 today. A few more cars in here than you usually see. It's summertime, so we have a lot more smaller jobs going, so let's check it out. So we've got a little Thunderbird in here. It's a funny story, actually. This is one of our really good customers' neighbor. He's got a transmission problem that he needed fixed, and a customer we're doing a full build for was like, just stop on my car and take care of my neighbor. So I'm like, okay, use that. Plus he brings us smoked cheese and salmon, so we kind of like that. But this is a really nice, clean, pretty much original Thunderbird. I'm gonna butcher this exact story, but it's got a police interceptor engine in it, a 3-speed manual overdrive tranny original. And he was driving it and had to come to like an emergency stop, and it slid into reverse. Maybe his hand hit it, or maybe just the momentum. It wasn't all the way into one gear or the other, or it just happened, I don't know. But anyways, it screwed up the transmission. Because this frame has a full X member basically under the transmission can't be taken out from the bottom, so that means the whole engine's got to come out from the top. Take the hood off. Plus, when you're doing this, you got to be super careful. Pictures, label, cover the fenders, all this kind of stuff to be really careful. But Brian and Matt did a good job, got it pulled out in a day, and it's off the tranny shop getting rebuilt. Hopefully we can get that put back together for him quickly. This is also a really nice 70 Chevelle. We've got in here for a similar kind of small job, little things, odds and ends. Proven to be a really clean car. It's got a big block in it, a 5-speed Tremec TKX. Really, it's just kind of odds and ends. The hood wasn't holding itself up great, so we put some stiffer shocks on it. The door glass wasn't going up and down very good. The air conditioning had an issue, so we sorted through that. Yeah, lots of little stuff, but well, actually, ironically, it's another one of our good customers' neighbor. So yeah, they live close to us, a few towns over, so good project. Just really nice, clean car. I love seeing a big block in one of these Camaros, and you start them up, and it's a different feel for sure. So guy's dad's had it forever. It's just one of those stories. He was happy to find us to get some work done on it. So another issue that this car had was the compressor seized up on him. The air conditioning compressor, which is opposite the alternator, typically on the right side. So he put a new compressor in it, and that's why the air conditioning obviously had an issue. So the whole system was discharged. He had it all together and just wanted us to charge it. But one thing that's really important is when a compressor goes bad is to flush the whole system out, because any little bits of debris in those lines in the condenser can get back into that compressor and shorten its life dramatically. So we pulled all the hoses off and flushed everything out, and the solvent afterwards was just black. It was nasty. So clearly there was metal, and that is a sign of metal in the lines and everything. So that was another part of this job, to make sure it holds up and holds a charge for a long time. We've also got Roger's 56 Bel Air in here. This was one of maybe the shop date before this. Where we're at right now with it, another small job, just doing some repairs and some upgrades. The radiator, it wasn't cooling as good as it used to. Roger, when he bought the car, it had this aftermarket radiator in it that was clearly bigger than what stock would have been. They had built this shroud for it to do dual electric fans, and it worked for him for a long time, but over time it got to a point where it was overheating. So clearly the radiator was clogged. Likely that was the culprit. So we took the radiator out, had it checked out, and they flushed it, and it was full of stop leak, which was clogging it for sure. Plus there was a couple of cracks in the tank, and what they found was actually the core of the radiator. Somebody custom built it maybe 20, 30 years ago, and it was like a forklift core. It was like an industrial core. He said, you know, back in the day that would have been like, oh, we're gonna upgrade it to an industrial thing, but now we know it doesn't work as good. So long story short, repair or replace, we kind of ran into that, because to rebuild this custom radiator now that had all the brackets and fit this shroud and everything was going to be pretty expensive. Cold Case makes a core support radiator, electric fan, transmission cooler module that we can essentially bolt into this car, and it's all there and complete and will work really well. We kind of had to weigh the options, and this is something we run into a lot, especially in the custom world where we're dealing with a little bit of unknown, repair versus replace and what's available. So we got a whole new aluminum core support radiator, electric fan and everything coming for this, which I'm confident will work well and get him past the overheating issues related to the radiator. That's on its way. We got some little paint work to do, and once again, really all 3 of these cars out front, they're pretty nice, clean cars. They're great customers. Just trying to keep them on the road, keep them going for the summer, and that's what the summer is all about around here. That's why we end up jammed in here, and another reason I'm looking forward to the new shop, having a little more space to work around this type of stuff. Because these jobs are difficult, because the big jobs we can work on all day long. The smaller jobs, we're kind of having to bounce between. So you have to have a little bit more space to keep everybody busy doing those types of projects. So it's just a balance. And in the secret, dark back shop that usually stays closed, we've got this Cutlass project. So we did basically all of the mechanical work on this It was painted already when we got it, but we put the motor training in it, wired it, plumbed it, made it mechanically sound. It's just about done. It's got 400 miles on it. It's been driving and working really great. The customer was able to put 100 miles on it already, which is awesome. The only thing left was to do the convertible top. So Massimo, which is one of the upholstery shops we work with, he fortunately has actually come out here to do it in our shop. He doesn't have room to do it at his place, so this is working out really well. I've been like around convertible top installs, but I've never like seen one happen in our shop. So it's nice to see and understand that process a little bit. It's pretty tedious. One thing that's challenging about this top too is it's got this full glass back window, which is pretty uncommon to see in a convertible. But it's amazing the work that you have to go and things you have to consider, because that whole thing's got to fold down as all the mechanism comes on top of it. So if it goes in there and binds, and it can hit against the trunk hinge, and then it cracks, and then you got a whole bunch of other issues. But that is going to be far, far superior to the plastic ones or whatever it was. You can't see out of the plastic ones anyways. They get scratched so quick. So I'm excited to see how this all comes together. It's looking good. So it'll be great to see this car out on the road. This guy has been dreaming about this project for so long. He's super grateful for our work, and it's nice to work on that. And it kind of helps you realize what we're really doing here is these people dream about these cars for a long time, and then we finally bring them to life, and they get behind the wheel and they go drive it, and we're standing behind what we do. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It comes full circle, and they really appreciate it. So it's great. It's been a good job overall. Really a pretty clean engine bay on this thing too. Nothing over the top, but just tidy. Try to route everything nice, and it's an old 455. We did some things that we know these cars are notorious for overheating issues, so we put a better water pump in it, a higher flow thermostat in it. We did these dual fan, electric fan radiator, good Dakota digital fan controllers, stuff like that, and it's proven to be really good. So I think we have a little bit of a recipe now to fight a lot of these overheating issues. And then we've got Travis's 67 Chevelle. You guys have seen several updates on this, and we're moving along good. So the last couple of weeks have just been more or less getting parts. We've had to move on to other projects. Well, actually Travis's neighbor is the one with Thunderbird, so that's where that went. But we just got the wheels on it today. So this is a wheel Travis picked out. He's been really particular on the stance for it, the size of the rim, the tire, everything. So I'm really excited to get him out here to see his reaction on how this looks and what he thinks about it. These things are monsters. They're tucked up way in there. We've gone through great lengths to get the dish that he wanted. We had the rear end narrowed more than it was. We put wheel tubs in it, moved the rear end around. We moved the brackets on the suspension to get it lower, lower, lower. See a nice wide tire in there with a good dish, and tucked down deep up in there. A previous video as well where we talked about using the wheel simulator, and that was done on this car where we went back and forth quite a bit, getting it dialed in. Really, that's kind of the bulk of what from the last update, kind of what we've done. But it's always fun and nice to see them on the ground. It's a totally different perspective, a little more feel of what it's going to look like, and everything changes. Get it on the ground, get it on outside. It's good to see a little progression. And for those of you that don't know, haven't seen this car yet, this is a 3-liter Whipple on a Texas Speed LS7. So this thing is really nasty. The whole underside's got stainless exhaust. It's super detailed. Transmission tunnel front to back's been cut, so the tranny and rear end's pushed up into the body. It's a pretty rowdy car. We're really excited about this one coming along. Over here we have a Charger parts as we push towards getting it in paint. And if you haven't heard yet, this car is going to SEMA this year, so I feel like the rest of the shop has been lagging a little bit because we've been so focused on getting this car done. I can't show a whole lot about it. It's going to be a whole reveal in the HRIA booth at SEMA in November, so we're really looking forward to that. We'll have a whole bunch of videos going through that build, so yeah, it's going to be a big deal. It's been probably the biggest car we've ever done. We've also got Dave's 66 Vet. I don't know, just kind of doing little stuff on this, honestly. Kind of getting pushed a little bit as we jam on the Charger right now. It's just kind of the phase that we're in. We did get a rear floor for this ordered up and measured out to make sure that was going to work. The exhaust is run just about out the back now. We did a little bit of plumbing stuff under the hood. These hood hinges are really cool too, by the way. They're on shocks and they just work so well. And it actually changes the way the hood opens. So originally the hood hinged here and the front of the hood dropped down, which creates issues oftentimes for condenser clearance and if you run your air cleaner up front. So it's really nice to have this hinge that goes up and over, plus it adds a shock. So we're really pleased with how that's working. Oh, another thing about the rear floor, I didn't even know this company, Dynamic Corvettes, existed until somebody commented on one of our videos and recommended them, and sure enough, I'm buying that rear floor. So thank you, whoever said that, because it saved a ton of time and a ton of money that we can now use somewhere else on the car. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that.
And comment what you want to see next.
Yeah. What do you want to see next? What do you see that we need to know about? I don't know. Anything. Let us know. We're also doing an iBooster on this, which is an electronic brake booster. The guys at Overlander Performance make this bracket that fits right into a C2 Corvette. So that is a completely self-contained electronic brake booster out of a Tesla, I believe is what they take those out of. So it's OE equipment. People have been having really good luck with them. It kind of eliminates the issue that we'll see with low vacuum on a vacuum booster or occasional noise of a Hydro Boost, and isolates it. So that kind of actually leads into what will probably be our next video, talking like a crash course about aftermarket brakes and common issues that we see. This thing is just so sweet. Freaking stack injected Lingenfelter boiler stacks and polished headers. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Super great customer, really cool guy. Happy to be doing this job. Oh, look at this, some line clamps. Snuck those in there. Brian built that steam vent line. It's kind of a unique look. He zigged it over here before going back just so he could pick up an existing bolt hole. So I don't know, puts a little style in it. But those are a small U-drill that he punched out for that 1/4-inch line. Available on the website. In black anodized too. All kinds of different sizes. Just, yeah, let us know if you have any questions about those. That's been the biggest thing with those line clamps, is just making sure people understand how to use them. And we found that once people use them and kind of have them in their back pocket, they really like them. So, and then in the back shop, just a new local customer, just a small job for us. He's been fighting some brake issues on this car, as well as fueling issues. He's got air conditioning issues. So this is kind of a car that got put together by a lot of different people, and it never really got that last like 5% of road testing, shaking it down, making sure everything works together. So he hired us to kind of help him through some of those things. We're going to do a full video talking about this car and those brake issues, like I mentioned earlier in this video, just going through what we see, what's most common, because it's really a common occurrence that brakes don't work like they should. He just wants to, we have a cruise night in Enumclaw that draws a crowd. It's amazing, and we've had so many people come to us and call and stuff. We can't even service all these people that are just wanting to get their car ready so they can go in the car cruise, which is great to see. I mean, it's right downtown in our hometown. I don't know, there's hundreds of cars. I mean, it's amazing. People are walking down the street and just light up the whole town. It shuts the whole town down. I mean, it's great. Something else I'm kind of excited about, amidst all the projects, we are wrapping up several big jobs right now. The Buick is out, getting a couple of things done. The Ford truck is almost done. That Cutlass is almost done. So we're bringing in a new job. We've had this job lined up for over a year now. A complete build, a 36 Ford on an Art Morrison chassis. I'm pretty excited about that one. So we'll see where that project goes. It's coming up from Oregon. We should see that next week. It'll be fun to go through that project kind of, and what it looks like to start, kind of the thought process that we go through. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a good job. Looking forward to it. Thanks for watching our video again today. Again, maybe this is the second one you watch today. That would be great.
Watch more.
Yeah, watch more. If you like it, you got a question, ask it, and stay tuned for more. Shop update. Are we calling this just a regular shop update?
This will be a shop update.
Yeah.
And what did we do last time? 6 or 7?
Was it number 6?
Yeah.
I'll go by. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I remember seeing 6. Okay.
If not, I'll just voice over. 8. 7. Charger.